You've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce, but have you had them covered in sauce? Wendy's new saucy nugs take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo or honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker out there, you can try spicy ghost pepper, only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. Listen, I'm going to dare you to do it. I dare you. That's 7 delicious ways to try the nugs that you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and then grab a few more napkins and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
What's up, Cal fans? We are back with another... Wait a second. Emergency podcast. Emergency podcast. Sound the alarms. This is reminding me of college.
Wake up for class, Andy. You got to get up. You got to get up for that 9 a.m. You got to get up for that 10 a.m. 9:30. I remember UGBA 10 was 9:30. That was like, I don't know why I even thought that as a freshman, right? You come out of high school and you're like, oh, I woke up at 8 to go to school, or 7 to go to school. Like 9 a.m. classes are nothing. And then you're like, nope, this was a terrible mistake.
Like 9:30 was early. The earliest I ever went.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the Golden Bear Cast, proud partner of Blue Wire Podcast Network. This is an emergency pod, and it is Saturday night, September 28th, 9 p.m. Rob, what has just been announced?
A few hours ago, ESPN has announced that College Gameday is coming to Berkeley for the very first time.
Unbelievable.
The vibes.
I need to sound the alarm again.
Just absolutely incredible. Like, oh my gosh. Like, well, first of all, tell me how you felt the moment you heard the news.
I almost felt a sense of relief in that I think it would have been very devastating had it not gone that way. And I do want to kind of take everybody through my Friday night, because my Friday night, I decided that I was going to watch the Miami game.
Yeah.
Miami, Virginia Tech. And get to know our opponent. You know, not that that game had meant anything, which it definitely did. And I think that was one of the crazy... if it wasn't for the Bama-Georgia game that I just watched, I still think the Miami-Virginia Tech game was crazier, and I'll tell you why. Miami is losing basically the whole game. Miami is driving downfield. They have a 4th down conversion. Cam Ward drops back. His receiver falls. Sits on his rear end. Ward throws the ball anyways. Sitting down. His receiver makes a fingertip grab above his head to convert. Then the next play. Very next play is, or maybe the next couple of plays. Cam Ward is wrapped up clearly for a sack. Breaks loose. Then he gets wrapped up again. Very clearly going to get sacked this time. Shovel passes to his tight end.
Yep.
His tight end doesn't just get, a few yards. Gets 35 yards or so downfield to the 2-yard line. Improbable as ever. Then they score a touchdown. Miami takes the lead. Virginia Tech gets the ball. I'm like, well, how much time is there possibly left? Well, Virginia Tech rolls downfield kind of slowly, if you will. And then Virginia Tech, and by the way, I should say, the reason why I'm so off on my down and distance is because I was listening with no volume. I was actually on the phone the entire time I was watching this, freaking out. Virginia Tech goes downfield. They throw end zone with, I want to say 12 seconds left or so. Maybe.
Was that the first Hail Mary or the first?
Yeah, the first
toss?
one.
Yeah, the first one had like 12 seconds.
and hits his receiver, makes the catch 8 inches out of bounds. I mean, very close.
Yep.
And then the question starts becoming, is there even time here? And then I start, of course, my head goes to, this would be the most classic Cal thing of all time. You get so close to potentially having game day, and it all comes crashing down. Not because Miami blew a winnable game against Virginia Tech. No, because they lost on a Hail Mary. Right? This is for sure happening. So they drop back, quarterback drops back. Instead of throwing the Hail Mary, runs out of bounds. Now there's like 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
Quarterback drops back, launches one to the back of the end zone. Mayhem. Lights start flashing. Miami players storm the field. I have no idea what's going on. Again, I don't have audio. And I am like, I didn't see a Miami player catch that ball, but I saw a Miami player run away with the ball. And I was like, wow, maybe they won there. And then, oh, here comes this replay. And it's a Virginia Tech. And I put the volume on. Call on the field is a touchdown. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's going to beat Miami. Here we are. I mean, unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It was easily my favorite game I've watched of the season. And then they're like, okay, we have to go review this. Yep. And then on review, and I have to give credit to my buddy Zach, who said, you can't see anything on review because Virginia Tech wears like maroon colors that blend perfectly with the football. So a dude's leg and the pants look like the football. And you can't see anything. And the one thing I couldn't see is if anyone ever caught it. And that was, but I tell you what, Rob, I know we got game day because of it, but I think it took an incorrect call. I would not have overturned it.
Wow, you wouldn't have overturned it. Okay.
I would not have overturned it. I didn't see anything unless there was an additional angle that they published today on social media that I didn't see. But from the broadcast alone, I haven't seen anything that was compelling enough to make me overturn it.
Did you hear what the ruling was on why they ruled it an incomplete pass?
It was just that no one had actually possessed it.
No. So the follow-up from the ACC, I think earlier this morning or late last night, was that a Miami player who was out of bounds touched the ball before the ball was in possession of any person, which by rule makes that a dead ball.
Wow.
That was the ruling. So I guess I haven't looked back at the replay after the game, but I guess there was a Miami player who half his body was
he was out of bounds,
out of the end zone, and he had touched the ball.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
And because the ball wasn't in anyone's possession, it's a man out of bounds who touches the ball. So it's ruled an incomplete pass.
It's a miracle in Miami. It's a miracle. That is how Cal got game day. It's unbelievable. Yep. It's the miracle of all miracles. That is outrageous.
It's crazy that it came down to a Hail Mary play, and that's what hinged on just like the decision of where game day was going. Granted, I think there's a lot more stuff we got to talk about, and we might not get to it on this pod. We might get to it later in the week. about like algorithm and everything that's been generated over the last 2 weeks that made this push. But, and I have some inside stories that I want to share on that. But like, just, yeah, as you said, this is the moment that it comes down to Cal potentially getting game day is a Hail Mary that's ruled incomplete.
After
being ruled a touchdown.
Yeah, it was converted. I mean, it was outrageous. And I will say after that game, after watching that game, that's why I say it was relief, because my mindset went from, okay, this might happen to this has to happen, because that Miami game, they want to, that was instant content that you have. And I could just see it where on the broadcast, they're just giving the opportunity to, go and replay all of those ridiculous plays over and over. It just sort of felt to me, I was like, Miami winning that game and looking vulnerable so that this game looks like, okay, they're going to have, if they're not at home, I think they probably lose. And now it really set the table for it. So that's why today, when it was announced, it was a little bit more relief. Although I will say, I think you somewhat spoiled it for me. Not that you told me anything, but just the random phone call in the middle of the Saturday. Hey, we might need to record a podcast tonight. It's like, I wonder why that might be. So it wasn't that I was as surprised had it been organically leaked, but it's just one of those things I wish I was in school for. I went to game day at Oregon. I was at game day when we played Oregon in 2007. And so I do have one game day under my belt. Yeah. And it was so much fun. But I do wish, and it's a win. It's a win. Oh boy, was it a very close win. And I just wish I had my 20-year-old self could enjoy this moment, but I'm not going to say how old I am, but 35 plus self will be very much enjoying this moment. And then I'm going to turn over to you, Rob. But I was with Diane at dinner when it announced, and she asked me, why does this mean so much for Cal? And I was going through the very, very long explanation of the symbolic nature of this. And she said, why would they choose Cal now versus not choosing them before? Which I thought was a really good question. So I promised her, I said, hey, I'm going to take your question and I'm going to pose it to Rob.
That's a great question. Thanks, avid listener. No, Dan is great. I think it's because of the fact that, one, we've never had it before. Of course, I think this means less if we had gotten it. But I think in this particular moment, the stars just aligned. It's weird. You look at the schedule, there's not really a big game. I think if we had beaten Florida State last week, I think we're probably ranked in the top 25. That kind of maybe, or even maybe just outside of it. And that pushes it into a top 25-ish matchup. That would have been great. But Miami being undefeated, us being undefeated, I think would have been the perfect storm. Granted, that hasn't happened, but I think the fact that we didn't have a game this week played into it well. Because if we had a game this week and let's say we had lost, a 3-2 team hosting an undefeated Miami, no chance. But the fact that we're still 3-1 just makes the optics look a little bit more interesting. A 3-1 team versus a 5-0 team. And
it's our first ACC game at home.
Exactly.
But again, we need to highlight the pattern of amazingness that exists here, where it's a player that was out of bounds, touching a football that wasn't fully possessed. It's that Cal magically has 2 buys this year instead of 1. I mean,
it's incredible. And then the added fact of that is just the social media boon that happened with Cal Twitter and Calgorithm since the Auburn game. And then that not only just becoming a boon within ourselves, but permeating through all of college football and all of the national media, people talking about us and ESPN taking notice of that, the ESPN, writing articles about us, Daily Mail in England writing articles about us, The Athletic coming out to hang out with us at our tailgate next week for an article about Calgorithm. I think that has a huge part to play. And I heard this from a source inside the building too. They were taking note of all the Cal Twitter things that were tagging College Game Day to come to Berkeley. Like that was an actual thing. Like they noticed. That's why on my Twitter, like throughout the last week and a half ish, like I never alluded to it, but I kept saying like, keep tweeting at them, send the memes, send like all of the GIFs, send all of it, continue to tag them.
Make a song about Jaden Nutt.
Great, absolutely amazing. That's the actual artist that sang "Hot to Go" too. Like, and they got her to do a version of it.
What do you mean?
Like, there's a song called. Like they sing it at the same, right? The "Hot to Go." Like
that's Chapel Roan?
Yeah, it's the actual singer. It's her.
Chapel Roan. No way.
Yeah, they got her. They got her to do it.
Chapel Roan is huge right now. No way.
I have the receipts.
Chapel Roan.
Yeah, they got her to do it. They paid. I mean, I'm assuming they paid her to do it, but they got her to do it.
No way.
Yeah.
We got to go to the books. Because the article I read on Right for California said that it was not her.
Oh, it was not her? Dude,
Yeah.
I have text messages saying that it is her. We'll figure this out for the later
Chapel
pod.
Roan was at Outside Lands.
I'll figure this out by our normal
Deal.
normal podcast, okay? Because we're getting mixed reports right now. But look, I mean, to go back to that original question and what it means and why now, I don't think in our wildest dreams we would have thought this would be, before the season started, this would be the year we get Game Day, right? There have been years in the past where we're like, yeah, this feels like the year we might get Game Day. This didn't feel like that year heading into it at the very least, especially not this early. You know, we could argue like, oh, you know, maybe for like 8-0, you know, and we're going for that, then like we're going for like a title or a chance at a chip, like maybe we get it then. But like, you know, Goff's year kind of felt like maybe we get it at some point.
Yeah, 15.
It felt like that a few
And
years.
maybe that 2020 when we got written up for having a couple of folks choosing us as the dark horse to win
Sure.
the Pac-12.
Yeah. So, you know, in those moments, but I don't think in our wildest dreams we would have thought we would get it this early in this moment. It just means so much. I think there's a lot we can do from this. I think we have to galvanize our fan base to a certain degree to get them to show up for Game Day. I think we got to show force, just be like, look, we might have been the butt of everyone's joke and that we don't take football seriously here, but like, no one's been looking at us. Like we've been caring this entire time. And I think a lot of the grads in our era, anyone who graduated in the 2000s and maybe early 2010s are all going to show out because one, they have the means to come. And two, it's like they know what the ramifications and the significance of this is and how they wanted it when they were in college, but they never got it. So, you know, much like you and I will be out there. Like, you know, it's just one of those things that's off the bucket list. They might not ever come back. Who knows? They might come back if Cal's good, you know, down the line. But we got to take these opportunities as we take them, and we're taking full advantage of it right now.
Can't wait. Leave the house at 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, Andy, you've been to a Game Day. Just walk me through like just the feelings, the vibes, like that entire morning of what it is. Because for a lot of us, we've never seen it except for the TV show.
I can't say I fully understood. I was a freshman.
Yeah.
And I did care about college football, but I don't know if I really knew what Game Day was and the tradition of it, because I certainly wasn't aware as to why I was drinking warm Coors Light at 5:30 in the morning in Eugene, Oregon. And it's like, we're just going to walk somewhere and to be at this thing. But what I don't remember is coming back for a nap. And that is called your teens. That is amazing. But that's really what it was waking up so early, walking. I just remember it was so cold in Eugene, so cold, 27 degrees or something at that time. So cold. And we get there and we're just surrounded by Ducks fans. So that's the thing is it felt so. And then I obviously knew that I just wanted Corso to put on a bear head. Because of course, like back in the day, that's what I knew Game Day as, was really like Corso putting on the mascot head and it being in video games and NCAA football. And so, but yeah, it's not the same because it was so much of the opponent there. And my own Cal football journey was just barely being written. Right? I mean, it was so early in my freshman year and so much of what my attachment to Cal football has been over time came after that. So I think this will be completely different. And it's also, to your point, I think there's such a piece of pride to it. And I've gotten so many text messages from so many people saying, and even before this, I mean, there's a lot of Bus 2 legends that are that have already bought tickets or bought their flight up. And that was before the announcement. And this is just icing on the cake. So I do hope it galvanizes sort of the old blues that are in my life to come out. And I just keep telling Diana, I'm like, we need to be getting a babysitter for the entire night. and I'm like, I told her tonight, said, you are going to see prime college Andy. Enjoy it. It's only going to be
it's
this
a one-time
day.
showing.
I take zero accountability into anything that happens. I may black out. You just don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
And
what the
I
night
also
will bring.
said, you know what I said, Rob? You'll love this. I said, also, in some fun news, you get to take a shot of Malort. She's like, what the hell is Malort?
Oh, well, you'll find out. I mean, we got a box of swag coming in from Malort. We have a box of Malort coming in from Malort. They are basically semi-sponsoring the tailgate this week. So
Malort to victory.
Malort to victory, man. We're 9-0. This is wild. We're going for our 10th win with Malort at the tailgate in the state of California, with Game Day in tow against a top 10 opponent at home. In the middle of the night, too.
The night thing, I still wish we could change the time to 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. Same here, but there's nothing we can do about it.
The nighttime is insanity. Insanity. I really hope that we can just introduce the ACC to the Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah, if you're on the West Coast past midnight for you, you are doomed. You are absolutely effed. Ask Washington State what happens when you're a top 10 opponent coming in for a 7:30 game. But yeah, Game Day is going to be wild. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be all week. I'm like already kind of I'm like trying to prep myself just physically for like the gauntlet that's going to be like Thursday through Saturday. I think they set up the stage on Wednesday. I've heard that their stage is being set up in front of Doe Library, so the backdrop for them will be Doe. They'll be facing Memorial Glade, and I think Memorial Glade is where the pit is going to be.
Wow, beautiful,
and a beautiful scenery. And then, so if they have the stage set up on Wednesday, I'm sure they'll be filming segments and stuff throughout the day there, Thursday and Friday. And then Saturday, of course, is Game Day at 6 a.m. I don't know how early they open the pit. I think it's either 1 hour or 2 hours before. So what is that, 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. is when the pit opens.
They're about to come out here. I mean, must not have been a tough sell. Like, look at this weather, bro. Yeah. Look at this. Although Tuesday, 94, yeah, Wednesday, 88.
Tuesday and Wednesday pretty bad, but the weekend's going to be nice.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What a commercial for the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Just everywhere else is starting to get cold. Nah. 73 degrees. Beautiful. It's going to be something special. Now, my last question for you, Rob.
Yes.
Do you think Corso is going to put on an Oski hat
against Miami? I'm kind of hoping, kind of like the Auburn game, none of them do, but just for the game's sake, because at Auburn, what happened was they all picked Auburn, right? And then we proceeded to beat Auburn. So I'm hoping they all pick Miami so that we can upset Miami, because I think by Vegas odds, we're 14-point underdogs to Miami. But for the culture,
did they watch that Virginia Tech game?
They're still a top 10 team, and they dropped 50 points in 3 games or in 3 straight games.
True.
So
True.
Look, but for the culture, to get a picture of Corso in that hat would be absolutely bonkers.
So what does it mean for you?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm trying to find out what media credentials I get and have access to, because I want to be able to document this thing from beginning to end. And so I'll probably reach out and send some emails on Monday and see what logistics look like and how to get credentialed for it. But I know they do have photographers on College Game Day and all that. So I'm sure being part of the home team coverage sites, they'll allow a few of us to do it. But yeah. Once I have more updates, once we record our regularly scheduled programming, we can talk about some other stuff regarding that more. But the last thing I want to leave you with, folks, is Andy and my predictions for the celebrity guest picker. Do you got any? I want one, like, maybe an athlete and then one non-athlete, because you know how they kind of mix it up. Who do you think who would you want to see?
Marshawn is the easiest for me because
I know, but would they give him a hot mic? That's a good question.
He's so good to have on because he's just instant. He's so entertaining. Naturally,
everyone loves him.
So entertaining. Yeah. I would like to see William Hung.
Wow, deep pull.
Or Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine's a good one. Chris Pine would be a good one. Man, Marshawn's the easy one. I think for me, since you picked Marshawn, I'll go with the other easy pick is Jared Goff. The Lions do not play next week; they have a bye, so it kind of once again the stars aligned, right? The stars align, Andy. The stars align.
What is happening this year?
Yeah. So I would say that at the very least make an appearance. I think Aaron Rodgers, because he's on the Pat McAfee show, probably makes an appearance in some form or fashion because the locker room is literally named after him. It's the Aaron Rodgers locker room. I think the deep cut for me, that Nam also, I got it from Nam, so I'm going to give him credit for it. The deep cut for me, for celebrity guest picker, Tom Hanks.
Wow. Yes.
Because you know the clip. I think a lot of Cal fans, older Cal fans, know the clip. He has it. If you're a younger Cal fan, I'll explain to you. He has an interview with Bob Costas. I think after he wins for Forrest Gump, he's won an Emmy for Forrest Gump. Was that or an Oscar for Forrest Gump? I think that's what it was. And then Bob Costas asked him, if not winning a Oscar, like what would you most want to accomplish in your life? And he said winning a Heisman Trophy for the University of California. So that's the tie there. And that would be absolutely incredible. That would put us back on the map a little bit too. Tom Hanks is a Cal fan? What? I don't think most people know he even grew up in the Bay Area. Like, I think it's just beyond people.
Yeah. I mean, his movie characters are like Midwest charm.
It's true. But don't forget, he also is a part of our childhood with Toy Story.
Absolutely.
He's a very big part of our childhood. Well, I think that's enough. We are only planning to talk for 10 minutes. We talk for 25. So I think this is a good place to stop the pod. Andy, Game Day is coming to Berkeley next week. 7 days out from Game Day in Berkeley. Can you imagine yourself saying that?
Still hasn't really hit.
No.
It'll hit when the alarm.
Yeah.
It'll hit when
I
hear.
Yeah, and when I send you a picture of the stage being built on campus. That's when
that'll hit. Or this.
All right, that's it for your emergency podcast, folks. And as always, go Bears.
Go Bears.
Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Now is the time to make a plan. Whether you plan to vote absentee by mail, in person at your county auditor's office before Election Day, or at your polling place on November 5th, it's important you take steps now to make your plan at voterready.iowa.gov. Remember, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Find more info at voterready.iowa.gov. This message is presented by the Iowa Secretary of State.